Oh, it's 8 o'clock. Let's ring the bell. Bing, 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 bing. It's time for some weird World War II. So tonight's show, we tried to do this show once before, but on YouTube, but it crapped out on us, dropped us, and we weren't able to do it. So tonight we're going to talk about stuff that's missing in your armies, okay? And this isn't necessarily stuff you haven't bought yet. This is stuff that no one makes, okay? So if there's any manufacturers out there, any producers going to watch this, listen, because these are your customers. Customers. This is the shit we need. And the thing is if you take advantage of it quick, right? You'd be the only one producing that product until, someone else comes along and starts producing more, and then it's all shot to shit. But you'd corner that market for a short time, so let's listen. So if any of you guys have any suggestion about what's missing in your armies and what you want, what you need or what you wish people would make, put it in the comments, because I want to know. I'm also on the Discord here, so I might be typing here until Mel gets back. But yeah, so I made a small list here. It's pretty small, because I'm at, since this is Weird World War II, I'm at the World War II, straight World War II is pretty much taken care of. You might, yeah, no shit, until China picks it up and starts making it. I don't know, dude. China's turning to shit. It's good, though. The people fucking rising up. Rise up, China! I love the people. Crush that CCP, man. Fucking start living free. Then that'll be a badass China right there. But anywho's, enough of that shit. So, okay. So, on my first thing on my list here, let's see, what are we going to pick? Okay, let's do this. Let's do dismounted vehicle crews, okay? So, now, when I say that, most people are like, oh, yeah, they already have that shit. Well, they do for, the big countries. But, what about Japan? I haven't seen any dismounted, and I'm not talking about fucking figures that are cut in half, that kind of crap. I'm talking about full, miniature holding a sidearm or a pistol or submachine gun or some shit. So when especially if you're playing Japanese army, when that thing clunkers out, you got crew to dismount and continue on the fight. So I haven't seen any Japanese full body stuff. If I have, it's probably a 3D printed one on an oddball scale, like a 135 or something like that. But, we're trying to shoot for, wargaming scale. So anything from between, 15 mil. I don't even know if 15 mil. I doubt 15 millimeter rules even have rules for dismounted vehicle crews. They just, all of a sudden a tank is gone. The vehicle just, bails out, and then the thing's just gone. They just disappear in the ether until you make another roll, and they could recrew it, or they could just disappear off the board. Just fucking lazy ass motherfucking mechanics. But anyway, but yeah, so dismounted vehicle crew, and I have on my list, I need Japanese, okay, and we need Chinese, which you could probably get away with just using Japanese minis, because I'm sure the Chinese would either use early war German, Russian, or hell, they might even use Italian. That's another vehicle crew that I haven't seen yet, is dismounted Italian vehicle crews. Those fuckers dismounted a lot. Driving that stuff. Woo! What did Rommel call the Italian tanker the bravest man in the world for the shit he has to work with? Woo! So the Commonwealth are covered. The Americans are covered. And you can do any kind of armies that the America supports later in the war. Like the French could just use dismounted American crews. The Chinese, late war Chinese, could use American crews because it's got the same equipment. So I'm thinking more hell, you could even have, the Dutch I don't even think there's any Dutch dismounted vehicle crews. They had some unique helmets. Who else is there? The Hungarians, the Romanians. They probably just use German kit. I'm not sure if they had a dedicated helmet or outfit. A lot of the poorer countries just use like overalls. I shouldn't say poor. A lot of countries use just like an overalls for their crew, but usually had some unique kind of headwear to tell them. You could tell them apart. But yeah, so vehicle crews. Even down to like aircraft crews. I know that Germany's taken care of. Like Perry does a fucking excellent downed Luftwaffe crew, like a bomber crew. It's like they've dismantled the like MG 18s or whatever those are.
MG-15 actually.
Carrying it, and they all got like pistols, and some of them are wounded, and it's pretty. And they're on their flight suits. That's pretty cool. Have some of those. Now there's a couple. I know there's a couple Japanese aircraft pilots, but not like bomber crews. It would just be like a pilot, like a fighter pilot. So that'd be cool. Like even like American bomber crews, that'd be sweet. Just all the bomber crews, because you could have all sorts of missions. Skirmish missions are so damn popular now that that line of miniatures would totally get used, because how many people would come up with a mission? Okay, there's a down recon plane. There's some survivors. You gotta go save them, or you gotta go capture them. So shit, those minis would be bought up, I would think. Yeah, cool. But yeah, so first one was vehicle crews, aircraft, and like land vehicles. You can also do like, I don't know. My next thing and this might bring up crews for like watercraft is watercraft. And when I mean watercraft, I mean stuff that is reasonable on a, no bigger than a 28 millimeter. So we're talking, the largest you should get is maybe like a playable piece would probably be like, I want to say PT boats, but you can't play a PT boat on a 28 millimeter like table. It would be like maybe just fucking swimming by real quick, or it's like being captured, like some dinghies are going, it's disabled or something, and there's like naval dinghies coming out to try to grab it, and there's like an infantry battle in that on like little rafts and like little boats and shit. That'd be kind of fucking sweet, actually. But like landing crafts, river boats, like crossing boats, just like rubber boats. I know that some companies make rubber boats, but they don't have like the dudes like swimming them. Which, shit, that's just for looks. But if you made a couple GIs or a couple Germans or Russians, with a couple oars or something with each pack of your boats, that'd be fucking sweet. You got those, I know the Germans had like combat assault boats. They're kind of like elongated speedboats. Those are pretty cool. And the Soviets had that fucking little inner tube thing, like a single man, little rubber fucking boat. Oh, fucking Soviets, man. I don't know what the hell. But, yeah. But, and a big one, and I know there's some out there, but they're woefully, like, inaccurate, is, like, some, like, surfaced subs. Now, I know at 148 or 156, that's fucking big. That's a big craft. But, I mean, it would be only the submerged part, so it would only be like the conning tower and like half of it exposed. But I don't know. I've envisioned these kick-ass like like those the men's magazines from the 50s and shit. They always have like U.S. Navy personnel like on boats, like jumping onto crippled U-boats, and the fucking Kriegsmarine guys are shooting them off and shit. That just seems like that sounds like an awesome fucking game to play. I know that movie, U-57 or whatever. I mean,
little closer. Go a little closer.
It wasn't all that great, but I mean, it's a cool idea. Like, you know, you trying to capture a damn U-boat or even American sub or Jap sub or British sub or whatever. That'd be another cool like skirmish game. Just right in the middle, it's all water except in the middle is a fucking like crippled boat, like sub of some sort, and then you'd have like your you know, your infantry coming in like little dinghies or speedboats or whatever, trying to grab it. That'd be fucking sweet. But yeah, so some sort of watercraft, and then watercraft to do actual water like crossings. You know, the old Hail Mary Full of Grace scene from A Bridge Too Far. You know, get some of those engineering boats. Have a kick-ass water crossing there. That'd be sweet. But flying submarines, man. Hell, they came up with a flying tank too, man. Fucking Soviets, dude. Fucking, they're crazy. They're crazy fuckers. But I mean, Germans were designing crazy. They were all designing crazy shit. America was designing crazy shit. It was just like carte blanche to just go ape shit and just design whatever the fuck you want because it's full blown war. So, but yeah. So let's stick with the water. UDT / combat swimmers. So, you know, our scuba troops or whatever. Now, if you want to say historically accurate, you know, you had those. You had like demolition crews, you know, infiltrating the beachheads, pre-invasion, setting up demolitions, clearing paths, you know, doing whatever. And then from all the Allied belligerents. Now, I know that the Germans had the combat swimmers, where they had basically swimming demolition experts that would try to destroy bridges, you know, shit like that. So just having stuff like that, and maybe coming up with implements of their deployment, you know, like small boats again. You know, the Brits had those like those riding torpedoes that they would drive. And hey, baby. Mel's in the house. But yeah, so so combat swimmers. Now, if you want to go weird war, you could go full blown like scuba armies. You know, think of like there's a James Bond movie they have a big fucking scuba, you know, battle underwater. It's cool. They're driving those like little portable, like little subs, handheld submarine or propulsion things. And that was fucking cool. Now that'd be cool to play. That's something I've never done in all my weird. I've played in outer space. I've played, you know, underground. I've played, you know, flying around and shit. But I've never played underwater. That'd be cool. Play some underwater action. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so you have like scuba armies fighting against each other and shit. But you know, they didn't really have scuba shit back then technically. But shit, this is a weird war. You can do whatever the fuck you want, really. Now I don't even know. I know. 7TV has some like scuba guys with guns, but that's more like 60s and 70s, more 60s looking than like World War II ish. But I mean, and they only make 3 of them, so it's like it's pretty fucking limited. Yeah, the Soviets designed those underwater AKs. Fucking tell you, man, just come up with anything and everything.
What are we on?
We are on Facebook.
On Facebook, huh?
We are, and we've got our most staunch fan, Jason Stone.
Pretty cool. Oh, I forgot I have my nerd
Look at
shields.
Her nerd shields.
Well, they keep my eyes.
She took out her pocket protector.
No.
she puts it right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are talking tonight about things that are missing in your army that isn't like produced. Isn't made.
Oh, are we inventing things tonight?
Well, there's big gaps in my collection in that, you know, there's certain things that no producers make. So this is the place and time for people to say, hey, I've been needing this for so long.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, but...
I want blow darts. That really work.
Like on the table, like knock your minis over and shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, the AK one shot darts. Yeah, but that like shot darts. It didn't like it like we saw it. Remember we saw him shooting it underwater. It's like a full blown. It's crazy.
Designed to shoot frogmen underwater invaders. It can fire 5.66mm ammunition at a rate of 500 rounds per minute, and its magazines can hold up to 26 rounds. Although they don't perform as well on land, these gas-powered...
I don't know if it's fucking effective. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if underwater combat would be even plausible, because...
Well, you can always use the aquarium.
What? I'm not going to actually put things in water.
No, you can use the aquarium decorations, like...
yeah, like the
plant
scenery
life.
and shit.
The
Yeah,
plant life.
that'd be cool. Hell, we
I'm
use.
not talking about the skull you put so your goldfish
No,
can
I
go
know.
in and out of.
I
I'm
know.
talking about.
But like like the plants and shit.
Yeah, the plants and shit.
It'd be kind of out of scale, though.
Yeah.
But who gives a fuck? Yeah, I mean.
They're playing with little army men.
We
Who
use that stuff for like jungle terrain too. Remember?
Yeah.
So I mean, it looks good. It's not cheap though. You would think aquarium fucking plastic plants would be cheap. They fucking aren't.
Right.
They're expensive. Stone, you know what's up. What?
Fuck the camera. Why are you looking at me?
Oh, because you're walking around. I made stew tonight.
Yeah, I smell it.
Don't you dare say it doesn't smell good. Oh, you're gonna spit in it? Jesus, I'm telling you guys.
Hey,
Telling you.
it
But
smells
yeah.
delicious.
Mm-hmm. All right, so next on my list of so we went through the scuba stuff, underwater stuff. That'd be pretty sweet. You know, and there are some like, there's some like Cthulhu army. You know, there's several companies that make like deep ones. So you could have like scuba troops like attacking like a deep one, underwater city or some shit. So that'd be fucking sweet.
I want some more female squiddy monsters. Cthulhu monsters.
Female? Do they have
Or
to be with
female.
titties?
Well, no. it's
Tentacles and titties. That's the line. That's the title of the line. Tentacles and titties line minis.
I'm a genius, aren't I?
Telling you, she's a genius, guys. She doesn't know it, but she is. But yeah, it is. That shit's overpriced big. All right, then we have we were talking about the UDT combat swimmers. They're technically like demolition experts, and they're blowing shit up or trying to sink shit, damage shipping, open up beachheads, cutting submarine nets, whatever the fuck they do. So keeping in mind with that is combat engineers. Now there are some companies that hit the major belligerents with combat engineers. The Germans are taken care of. The Americans, there's a couple that have like the assault vest, the combat engineer vest with all the pockets, and they have either demo charges or whatever. But
Scouts?
I mean,
Can scouts be considered?
no, scouts are really meant to just observe and report.
Isn't that what observers are? They observe and report?
Well, that's what scouts do. I mean, it depends on. I mean, scouts do a lot of shit. It depends on what kind of scout you're talking about.
I figured it's the same thing.
No, combat engineers are guys who usually blow shit up or construct things on the battlefield. But yeah, that's another thing that you don't see. You don't see construction crews. I mean, I know that these aren't like. I mean, it wouldn't be much. I wouldn't think. I mean, nowadays everybody's 3D printing and shit. It wouldn't take much to just like have a pre-existing mini in your files of computerness and just take his arms off and put him carrying like some like boards or some saws or like a jackhammer or even a chainsaw. Those two-man chainsaws they had back in the 40s. Hell, that could even be a weapon. Some big old burly. That could be like your special character as a World War II era combat engineer chainsaw. That'd be fucking sweet. The bear, or they call him the lumberjack. Cuts people in half with his giant chainsaw. But yeah, one of the big things is mine detectors. Now, I can only think of one company that makes a combat engineer with a mine detector, and that is two. I think Warlord makes a German one, and I think Black Tree makes a German one, maybe an American one, maybe. I think it's just a German. But man, mine detect. Now, in my gaming over the years, one of the if you want like a really hectic fucking game where you really put the rules to the screw, is you try to clear a minefield with infantry. Okay, I mean, like in a realistic stance.
Send out Steve.
Send Steve out. I mean, in a rational so you got to suppress the enemy, or you got to send fucking dudes out there to fuck. I mean, and we're talking under fire. I mean, we're not talking vehicles with mine rollers. We're talking like a small expanse of mined, terrain where there has to be some engineers or something like moving across the battlefield, clearing a fucking path. That's a lot of fun. I mean, the engineers get massacred. I mean, you gotta have smoke. You have to have artillery support for that shit big time, or it doesn't work. But anyway, the models. Mine detectors and construction crews and, guys with demo charges, laying mines. I mean, stuff like that. I think that would be pretty cool. That's missing. I mean, you can have troops with demolition blocks and all that shit. They have that for the major belligerents. But what about fucking Japanese? Well, I guess the Japanese have their suicide guys, but I mean, okay, Japanese. I mean, what about the Brits? I don't think I've ever seen any British with like. I mean, whenever you see combat engineers, it's the flamethrowers. Okay, those are taken care of, right? But what about all the other fucking combat engineering duties in combat? Anyway, satchel charges and Bangalore torpedoes and giant fucking demolition charges on those sticks, and I can't remember what they called that shit, but stuff like that. I mean, I think combat engineers would be a cool just like a set from each army would be sweet. A whole bunch of different shit, not just infantry with like a teller mine, but like actual combat engineers would be sweet. Alright, so that's the combat engineers on my list. Now, I also had on here, let's see what we got here. Another big one for me is having IR upgrades to your vehicles. Okay, so IR being infrared. So the Brits had them, the Americans had it, and the Germans had it. So the Germans had the Vampire, which that's super famous and all that. And all you would have to do is sell packs of these things. Now there are some companies that have done it. Like Dust did it. They're no longer around, and the stuff now is hard to find. And then there might be some models, some kits out there that might have them. But I mean, you're buying the model and it just comes with the kit. It's not like purposely IR upgrades for your vehicles. Now, I believe the Brits used the Tabby system, which was big spotlights, or whatever, and viewers, and the Americans had the sniper scope. That'd be cool. You don't see that. You don't really see many sniper scope minis. Dust did some. I want to say Warlord came out with. They came out with a sniper scope. I don't think so. I know Victory Force had some minis that I converted into the sniper scope, because the sniper scope is basically a fucking German vampire system, like an infantry system that they stole and just took it to Okinawa and kicked the shit out of Japanese at night with it. Look at the statistics on how awesome these infrared fucking weapons were. They kicked some fucking ass against the Japanese during the end of island hopping. But yeah, I mean, and you can even advance your stuff a bit in like having the big IR spotlights, that we see in the '60s from the Americans, on the M48s and the M60s and the Centurions and shit, like have those big old infrared spotlights. You could just advance tech a bit and stick them on your fucking Shermans and your Stalins and whatever. That'd be pretty sweet. But no, IR tech is really cool, and I think the Germans are fucking taking care of infantry wise, but like vehicle upgrades, I think is lacking in the U.S., UK, and in German. So IR upgrades is one of mine, because I'd love to put just like maybe some sticky tack on one and just boop, blop it on there when it's IR ready, or you use fucking markers, whatever. So, all right, so that's that.
Use what you got.
I mean, that's what I do now. I use markers. Now, another one I have here is civilian government, like, agencies. So for an example, we'll just talk about the states. Like the post office, United States Post Office. And then there's the Civil Defense Corps, right? Then you'd have, like, you'd have cops, and you'd have, train conductors and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and you'd have, agencies within the various governments, and I'm not talking about just the U.S., but like in England. I know that there are some companies that do English, like civil defense crews and like nurses and stuff like that. And there's some people that do German, like, but it's the late war. It's more like the what do they call them? The fucking Volkssturm.
And they're usually zombies.
And the kids, like, that's kind of cool, kid fighters for your late war shit in Germany. But I mean, all that other stuff, because you've got these games now. Like that big skirmish game was an O200 war game or whatever. And it's all skirmish, like after dark at night or whatever. You're infiltrating, beating up the guards or whatever. But I mean, you got civilian entities, in those kind of situations, and be, like I say, train conductors, cops, firefighters. That's one thing you never see anywhere. Is like a World War II era firefighter. You know what I mean? Man, I could come up with all sorts of fucking missions to use firefighters in. I mean, that's awesome. But no, just having those kind of wartime, organizations that had uniforms that were out either on the front line or just behind it, because you have your infiltrator games, you have Weird War, you could have like huge shit teleporting behind it, enemy lines, and you got Folsom Jaegers in DC, and you got State Guard, which that'd be easy to do. State Guard, they just have like American uniforms, but you'd have cops and firemen and whatever. But I think that would be cool. And then fire trucks, make some fire trucks, or that would be pretty sweet. All right, so that's civilian government minis. What else do I got here? I also got. We're looking at time here. I also got on my list here is for my Weird War is 0G stuff. Okay, so right before I sold What the Miniatures, I had a plan. I was going to make a line of 0G infantry. I was going to make United States Space Rangers, and I was going to do German Raumjägers. And so I envision in my mind that I'd be playing like space battles, like from Moonraker.
Open the cargo doors. Number 1 platoon, EVA. Number 1 platoon, EVA. try docking.
Take the first landing!
Intruders have docked at Satellite 7, sir.
But it'd be like Nazis and Americans fighting over moon bases or, you know, space stations, or, you know, trying to confiscate some satellite that's rogue that they fly their little, like, maybe armored ships out to. Self-silencing bullets. Yeah, but yeah, so, I mean, 0G, so you would have, like, infantry troops, and I'm not just talking about, like, a pack of 5 space guys, astronauts with, you know, World War II looking guns, but I'm talking, like, infantry, and maybe some support weapons, like a suppressive gun, or some sort of anti-armor type of weapon, or, you know, something that has, like a, you know, like a, I don't know, laser or some shit on it or something. Now, I know you can just go into the sci-fi realm, and there are some companies that make, like, super tech looking German, you know, but they look super tech German. I mean, I'm talking, like, you know, big bull heads, you know, maybe something you see from, like, the 1950s sci-fi movies. That'd be pretty fucking sweet. Have American, German, Brit, Japanese. It's probably all you'd have up in space. But, you know, and then you could have, like, small little craft, you know, to support them, or, you know, moon buggies. If you're playing on a moonscape, you'd have, like, little moon buggies with weapons on them, or moon buses, or moon trucks, or whatever. That'd be pretty sweet. But just in general, 0G infantry, and even, like, command crew, like, you'd have pilots to their spacecraft, or like, crew that, you know, aren't infantry, that are in the space station that's being assaulted or whatever. So that sounds pretty fucking sweet. Just think of Moonraker, something like that. That'd be fucking awesome. Then on my list, I've got, okay, so we're getting, now that's pretty much the straight World War II shit. Now we're getting really off the fucking rail. Well, there's one other one. Is yeah, like Zerg and the Protoss. Not the Zerg, dude. I mean, I guess you could have the Zerg as like an alien. I mean, they've got that, like Warhammer, the Tyranids. They're kind of like the Zerg. The Protoss would be like the Eldar, I think. But yeah, like that scene. And remember in StarCraft, the first one, where those Space Marines are on that space station and the Zerg are coming. They like blow it up. That was awesome.
confusion.
Hey, are we really gonna blow this place?
Only if we see a Zerg.
Yeah, I got your Zerg right here.
Anywho's, so next would be colonial armies. So now I know Warlord does, and I think Artisan and maybe North Star do like a couple packs of some colonial troops. I think French colonial, but like they're usually just infantry. They're rarely like with support weapons or mortars or whatever. So they're although they look cool, they're just unfinished. And I think you need to stick them in vehicle crews too if they're gonna have vehicles and shit. Just any like smaller belligerents that don't have that have unique looks to them. So you talk about the North and Central African colonies fighting for whoever, and then you'd have you don't like Eastern Europe. You don't really need because you can just use civilians to act as like the partisans and stuff. But and then I think Warlord does a pack of Alamo scouts for the Philippines. I think somebody does. But yeah, but just more like colonial troops that have dedicated uniforms and a look to them, but have a full-fledged like platoon. Support weapons, command. Or whatever. And I think that'd be really cool just to finish those out because I think those guys fought and died for us, for the world too, and it'd be cool to represent them on the battlefield in more than just some token like single free unit or some bullshit. I think it'd be cool to have like full platoons of colonial French or Greeks or whatever. But with different weapons, not just rifles, but like fully fleshed out armies would be pretty sweet. All right, guys. Then we got paper panzers. I mean, those are pretty much you can probably get those. 148. You got a lot of the paper panzer shit. There's a great company out there, but they make 135 fucking scale. I keep talking to the guy. I'm like, dude. You need to go to 148 or even 156 for you 156 guys, because instead of a modeler buying one of your product, he makes this one. It's like a Sherman assault gun. It looks like a Stug, but it's on a Sherman body. It's fucking awesome. But I keep telling them, man, make them 148 or 156, dude. You'll have people buying multiples instead of just one, and building it and putting it on their bookshelf or whatever. You'll have like guys making platoons of them to play on their fucking games. But deaf ears. But yeah, paper panzers and all the prototype weapons that the Allies and Axis were making. Those are always fun to fuck with. Fudge it all and say it's all working correctly, and just field the shit. But yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Now these are the weirder stuff, guys, that I wish I had. One of them is Mythos armies. So, because nobody owns the H.P. Lovecraft IP, that's why everybody and their brother makes some sort of fucking Lovecraft product. Why aren't we seeing like armies of these things? Now, we do have people creating large, groups of different varying models of like deep ones. There's Reaper makes some. Odysseus made some deep one stuff that were like different kinds and different sculpts and stuff. So you could probably field like small warrior bands or whatever with deep ones. Mego. There are people out there that make Mego minis, but there's not a huge variety of them. It's usually just a Mego with I'm a Mego, but you want Megos with like support weapons and close combat shit and whatever. Now, to be fair, Dusk created some Megos right before they went under, which are fucking look awesome, man. They got some that have weapons and some have like sword or like close combat weapons or whatever. It's pretty cool. But again, they're out of business, so it's hard to find. But you have this IP that you can like. If you made a platoon of Mego creatures, infantry and command and like fucking support weapon stuff, man, I guarantee someone would buy them and field them. Also, the Great Race of Yith. Those are fucking cool. Those triangle fucking creatures with tentacles. I mean, they're supposed to be like super advanced. Now I know that Cthulhu Must Die. They came out with a couple. One is just like a normal looking one, and then one has like this kick ass looking like gun on it. But man, if you had like just kind of expounded on that, you make an army of these things and fight against them. That'd be fucking sweet. But again, a lot of this stuff is like, we played pretty free range here. A lot of the games that we play are they're scenario driven. They're not tournament wise where you have point costs and you just fight each other and bash, bang, bang, whatever. So, for you to field these kind of armies, you got to fucking come up with the rules. You got to make up your own goddamn rules for them. And a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people don't want to or don't have the time or don't want to take the time to do so. But there are people that are in the hobby that play outside the box like we do, like a motherfucker. And it'd be nice to just have access to this kind of stuff so we can use it. But yeah, so like, Mythos armies of the lesser, beings or whatever, that'd be pretty fucking cool. Let's see what else I got on my list. I'm running out of stuff, guys. Another one is maybe Atlanteans. Maybe some come up with some I have a Atlantean army. I use the Tau like tanks because they're like hover tanks. They kind of look Atlantean, and I use the Sharkmen miniatures from Superfigs as the Atlantean soldiers. So that's pretty cool. But I mean, you have, the only like hidden race I can think of is fucking Atlantis. But I'm sure in different cultures there's like groups of people that are, advanced that are hidden or whatever, something similar to Atlantis. So you could have like an Asian version of that of whoever, but like these kind of like hidden societies or even alien, just whole alien, unique, armies would be pretty cool. And then the last on my list, guys, that I could think on the top of my head is new Weird World War II subjects. The zombies have been fucking done. Okay? The undead thing has been done. You know, bioengineering soldiers. You know, the super soldiers fucking been done. But like, you know, wizards. Some companies kind of tapped into the wizard thing. But just different, you know, I don't know, just, you know, I have some unique Weird War subjects. I got bioengineer, like bioconstruct things, and I got like these weird like minefields made of the undead, and I mean, you just can really go crazy and just think of just the craziest shit, you know. I'd like to see more like unique Weird World War II things. Each Weird World War II line has some pretty unique things, like the K-47. They've got kind of like the Germans have, like, I believe it's like a gravity projector or something. Like, I guess it alters the gravity in the beam it produces, and it like crushes shit or something, like, or picks it up or something like that. And then, you know, you got the railgun technology, you got the plasma technology. Achtung Cthulhu has some cool, like, these enzyme infused weapons that are specifically designed against, like, mythos creatures. So they're really deadly against mythos creatures. You know, and then you got, like, electro, you know, like the Tesla weaponry, and you can just expound on that. K-47 does some Tesla stuff, and I think railguns, dusted railguns, laser weaponry. But yeah, man, just some unique, weird World War II. You know, jetpacks are cool. You know, I mean, that's kind of overdone too. But I don't know. You know, under like driller, you know, vehicles. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. Just but you know, there's so many, you know, people out there with some great ideas that come up with some fucking bonker ass Weird World War II subjects. I'd love to see, you know, other Weird World War II players. But you know, it sucks because I don't really know of any of you guys out there that play just your own way, like making up your own shit. You know, like, I play my own system. I just develop my own system, and if I want to add something from another system into my system, I will. So I know it's kind of hard for you guys to understand what we're doing, but I mean, it's not about the mechanics. It's about the story that we're telling when we're playing these battles. And I just don't see a lot of people doing that. I don't see a lot of people playing weird, like fucking full-blown weird, without a stringent guideline for, like, you know, TONEs or you know, points or whatever. But I'd love if you're out there doing that. You've got your own thing going, and you got your own system, and you're playing like hardcore Weird World War II. I want to fucking see it, man. I want to hear about it, because you know, you've got some Weird World War II companies out there, but it's structured. It's tournament kind of based play. It's point based play, and you know, there's not a lot of people that aren't playing in that fashion, and I'd love to see what you guys are doing. You know, you know, I'd love to hear about all your Weird War unit, your unique units, your superheroes, what kind of powers they got. You know, your homebrew, you know, vehicles. Well, what kind of, you know, implements of doom do they possess? I mean, I'd love to hear it, guys. You know, let's hear what you guys are doing. I guess I'm out of, my list is done. I went through my whole list, so I am out of shit to talk about. Baby, you got anything to talk about? Nope. Mel's playing her game, so she's off the grid. She is, might as well be on Venus. I'll probably cut it short. I'm out of stuff to talk about. I've been doing like ghosts lately, like, you know, ghosts and phantoms, and like using kind of using magic, using, you know, to freak the enemy out, to waver their fucking morale, and, you know, or even bolster your own troops with like images of like, you know, George Washington or heroes on their side, whatever country you're fighting for, heroes from the past coming to support them in the present, you know, building their morale and moving forward, pushing them further, and you know, but that's a lot of fun. But all right, dudes and dudettes and everybody in between, I think we're gonna cut it off there. Stone, thanks for coming, buddy. I appreciate it. Yes, I will always put, if I have a listing of 148 shit to be made, medieval sailors. It's on my list, man. I promise. All right, guys, whatever you do, keep it weird. See you later.
Holy shit.